Welcome on board, chosen one. Let's stop pretending for a second. You remember what they said. You remember the laughs that weren't loud, just sharp enough to sting. You remember the looks that said, "Who do you think you are?" without a single word leaving their mouth. When they said you were reaching too high, when they said you were late, slow, unrealistic, replaceable. When they said, "Oh, the legend needs to bow now," as if pressure was supposed to make you fold. Funny thing is, they said all that while standing comfortably on the sidelines, never risking anything, never carrying the weight you've been carrying in silence. Here's the cold fact they don't like to admit. You didn't break, you didn't disappear, you didn't turn bitter or loud, you went quiet. And that silence, that's what scares them now, because silence after chaos isn't weakness, it's control. It's the sound of someone who survived something that would have crushed most people and came back thinking differently. While they were busy celebrating too early, you were rebuilding in places they couldn't see. Look at how the atmosphere changed. Conversations stop when you enter the room. Names get mentioned carefully now. The same people who once rushed to judge you suddenly speak in half sentences, watching your reaction like it matters. When they said you were done, they said it loud. When they realized you weren't, they said nothing at all. That shift didn't happen by accident. It happened because the universe doesn't reward noise. It rewards endurance. This is the aftermath phase, the phase nobody prepares you for. The battle already happened, but the dust hasn't fully settled. You're standing there, bruised but upright, while your enemies are pretending they never swung. Their effort feels empty now. Their words feel recycled. Your strength doesn't announce itself anymore. It just exists, heavy, undeniable, uncomfortable for anyone who bet against you. Before this goes any further, pause for half a second. If this message is already hitting close, press the like button and subscribe. Not as a favor to me, but as a way of paying this message forward to others who are walking this same quiet path. Back to it. There's a reason this feels intense. This isn't motivation. This is recognition. Most people never reach this stage because it demands something brutal. Inner strength that doesn't come from hype, applause, or validation. Inner strength that's built when nobody claps, when nobody checks on you, when every doubt you've ever had shows up at once and asks, "Are you done yet?" And you answer by waking up anyway. History is full of people like you, even if their stories were cleaned up later. The ones mocked before they were respected. The ones underestimated because they didn't look dangerous enough. The ones who didn't fit the image, didn't play the role, didn't beg for approval. They were labeled difficult, strange, arrogant, or irrelevant. Until time did what time always does. It exposed who was bluffing and who was building. That's why the title matters. You'll need immense inner strength to handle what's coming next. Not success, not failure, but clarity. Clarity is heavy. Clarity shows you who delayed you, who doubted you, and who smiled while hoping you'd stay small. It also shows you yourself, the mistakes you made, the patience you learned, the moments you almost quit. This isn't gentle knowledge. This is the kind of truth people avoid because it forces responsibility. You're not here by accident. You didn't just stumble into this moment. You earned it through nights you didn't talk about and pressure you never explained. The universe watched how you handled disrespect, silence, delay, and loneliness. And now comes the part where the masks fall off, where the enemy realizes too late that their words stopped working. Where the chosen ones realize the fight didn't make them cruel, it made them precise. Stay with this. Don't rush it. This intro isn't a speech, it's a warning wrapped in confidence. What's ahead will sharpen you if you're ready, or expose you if you're pretending. The strongest characters aren't loud heroes. They're former villains who learned discipline, restraint, and timing. And when they finally speak, people listen. Not because they're afraid, but because they know the silence before this voice meant survival. This is the threshold. You're either ready or you're not. And that's fine. The universe doesn't force strength on anyone. It waits. Listen to me, chosen one. If you're still here, that already says something about you. Most people tap out right before the truth gets uncomfortable. They tell themselves they'll come back later, and later never comes. Inner strength doesn't show up when things are loud and exciting. It shows up right here, in the quiet moment where you decide whether you're strong enough to keep going without being promised a reward. So listen closely. What comes next is not entertainment. It's pressure. It's clarity. It's the kind of insight that strips excuses and leaves you face to face with who you really are. That's why the title warned you. You'll need immense inner strength to handle this. Not hype, not motivation, strength. The kind that can sit with discomfort and not flinch. If you feel that pull in your chest right now, that urge to stay instead of scrolling away, acknowledge it. Leave a comment with 777 as a signal that you're not afraid of the wait, or the work. Not for luck, not for symbolism, but as a marker. You were here when it mattered. And while you're at it, lock this in. Like the video. Subscribe. Not as a habit, but as a commitment to finishing what you start. Now, breathe. Slow your mind. We're about to go step by step. If you're truly ready, you won't just watch till the end. You'll feel why you stayed. Number 1, the mirror doesn't lie. It just exposes who you've been dodging. They laughed because they thought you'd never look back. The joke stopped the moment you did. Stand still for a second, not physically, internally. This is the part nobody warns you about. Before the winds, before the shift, before anyone changes how they treat you. There is a moment where the universe forces you to look at yourself without filters, without excuses, without the performance you put on for survival. And that moment feels violent because it strips comfort first. Look past the polite smile you hand out like spare change. Look past the version of you that says, "I'm good," just to end conversations faster. Look past the mask you wear so you can sleep without thinking too hard. Now, stare, not glance. Stare. You'll see it. The hesitation coiled tight in your chest, the pause before action, the doubt that whispers before your feet even touch the floor. That doubt isn't quiet because it's weak. It's quiet because it's lived with you for years. And here's the part that hits the enemy hardest. They counted on that hesitation. They studied it. They poked it. They assumed you'd always flinch at the last second. They'll stop themselves, they said. They always do. That was the plan. That was the bet. They never needed to defeat you. They just needed you to keep tolerating less than you knew you were capable of. Be honest, you flinched, not because you're incapable, but because seeing yourself clearly is uncomfortable. The mirror doesn't insult you, it indicts you. It shows you where you settled, where you stayed quiet to keep peace, where you chose familiarity over growth. That reflection is ruthless because it doesn't care about your intentions. It only reflects your actions, and that's why people avoid it. The enemy hates this stage because this is where control breaks. Up until now, they could dismiss you as potential. Potential is easy to mock. Potential feels harmless. But the moment you start seeing yourself clearly, the moment you stop lying to yourself about what you're avoiding, the game changes. Awareness is dangerous. Awareness sharpens everything. You didn't hide behind routines because you were lazy. You hid because routines feel safe. You didn't make small compromises because you lacked ambition. You made them because they were socially rewarded. Keep your head down. Be reasonable. Don't rock the room. Sound familiar? Those weren't rules for your growth. Those were rules for your containment. This is where the chosen ones start asking uncomfortable questions. Why do I feel restless even when things look fine? Because fine is a cage with soft walls. Why do they react strangely when I start changing? Because your growth threatens the story they told themselves about you. Why does this feel lonely? Because transformation always isolates before it attracts. Here's a truth the enemy never says out loud. They don't fear your failure, they expect it. What rattles them is your self-honesty. The moment you stop pretending, they lose leverage. The moment you admit, I've been playing small. The moment you say, this isn't enough for me anymore. The moment you stop laughing things off, they feel it. Not immediately, but deeply. Think about it. Every major shift in your life started with discomfort. Not inspiration, discomfort. A quiet dissatisfaction that refused to shut up. That was the universe tapping you on the shoulder, not to comfort you, but to confront you. And confrontation requires inner strength. That's why the title warned you. You don't need confidence yet. You need courage to stay in the room with yourself. The mirror demands one thing and one thing only. Accountability, not guilt. Accountability. It asks, how long are you going to tolerate what you already know isn't aligned? It asks, how many more times will you explain yourself to people committed to misunderstanding you? It asks, when will you stop negotiating with fear like it deserves a vote? And yes, the enemy feels this shift before they understand it. They sense something tightening. Your reactions change. Your silence feels heavier. You stop oversharing. You stop proving. You stop explaining. That's when they get nervous. Because people who stop explaining are no longer asking for permission. This stage hurts because it closes doors quietly. Old habits stop working. Old validation feels empty. Old conversations sound repetitive. That's not loss, that's shedding. And shedding always feels like something is being taken, even when it's something that was weighing you down. You're not broken for feeling this way. You're early. You're at the phase where the mirror stops being an enemy and starts being a weapon. A weapon against self-deception. A weapon against stagnation. A weapon against the people who benefited from you staying uncertain. Remember this. The mirror never asks you to hate who you were. It asks you to stop living there. And once you do, once you accept what you see without flinching, the universe responds differently. Opportunities sharpen. People reveal themselves. Resistance increases. That's how you know you're moving. This is not the part where you feel powerful. This is the part where you become dangerous, quietly, internally, irreversibly. Number 2, the clock never blinks. It just leaves you behind. The world didn't come to test you. It came to replace you if you hesitated. Here's the brutal truth nobody cushions for you. The world does not wait. Not for healing, not for confidence, not for clarity. Time doesn't slow down because you're tired, confused, or scared. It keeps moving, cold and uninterested, while people either adapt or get quietly erased from relevance. That's not cruelty. That's reality. And once you understand that, everything shifts. The enemy loves when you believe there's more time. They whisper it gently. Later. When you're ready. After things settle. That lie has buried more potential than failure ever could, because failure still moves you. Delay rots you in place. And the world keeps handing your opportunities to someone less prepared but more decisive. They didn't beat you with strength, they beat you with speed while you were still thinking. Look around. The pace is ruthless, noise everywhere, opinions flying, standards rising, distractions engineered to drain your focus and dull your edge. Every obstacle you meet isn't random, it's a filter. The world tests your voice by trying to drown it out. It tests your presence by ignoring you. It tests your resilience by hitting you again right when you thought you could rest. And yet here you are, still standing, still breathing, still carrying that internal shake you don't talk about. That tremor isn't weakness, it's pressure. Pressure means you're being forged, not discarded. The question haunting you right now is simple and dangerous. Why does it feel like everything is pushing me before I feel ready? Because readiness is not granted, it's demanded. Imagine this, a storm doesn't ask if the tree has recovered from the last season. It just comes. Either the roots are deep enough or the ground takes what it can. The world works the same way. It doesn't care how much you've been through. It only responds to what you've built inside because of it. Comfort never protected anyone from being forgotten. Comfort is the prettiest prison ever designed. Soft routines, familiar disappointments, predictable pain. You call it stability because chaos sounds worse, but deep down you know the truth. Comfort isn't peace. It's a slow agreement to stay smaller than you're capable of. The enemy knows this. That's why they encourage you to stay reasonable, calm, realistic. Those words aren't advice, they're sedatives. You feel it, don't you? That spark you keep trying to downplay, the one that flares up when you see someone else do what you secretly believe you were meant to do, the one that gets louder when life feels too repetitive. That spark doesn't want motivation, it wants movement. It's not waiting to feel safe. It's waiting for permission you keep delaying. Here's a question you've been avoiding. Why does stepping forward feel like it might cost me everything? Because it will cost you illusions. It will cost you approval from people who benefited from your silence. It will cost you the version of yourself that learned how to survive by shrinking. That cost feels terrifying until you realize what staying costs instead. Imagine this. You're standing on a train platform. Trains don't wait for perfect confidence. They arrive, doors open briefly, then they're gone. You can stand there rehearsing your fears, or you can step on shaky legs. Missing it doesn't mean another identical one comes back. It means the destination changes. The world doesn't punish fear, it just ignores it. That's the part nobody prepares you for. The world doesn't attack hesitation directly, it simply moves on without you. That's why watching others pass you feels so personal. It's not jealousy, it's grief. Grief for a version of you that could have existed sooner if you'd trusted yourself earlier. The enemy loves pointing at the chaos and saying, "See, this is why you shouldn't try." They highlight risk while hiding stagnation. They warn you about falling while pretending standing still is safe. But standing still in a moving world is the fastest way to be knocked over. Imagine this. A river doesn't care how much you analyze it from the bank. At some point, you either step in and learn to move with the current, or you stay dry and watch life pass downstream. The chosen ones aren't fearless swimmers. They're people who decided drowning slowly on the shore was worse. Another truth you're circling around. Why does pressure keep increasing the moment I decide to change? Because resistance always spikes right before momentum. The world tests commitment immediately, not to punish you, but to see if you're serious. Most people fold right there. That's why so few make it past this stage. You weren't meant to be comfortable, you were meant to be capable. Capability doesn't feel warm, it feels sharp. It asks for discipline before applause. It demands action before certainty. And yes, it isolates you at first. Growth always looks lonely from the inside because you're ahead of the version of people you're surrounded by. Imagine this. A blade doesn't become useful by staying untouched. It becomes useful by being sharpened, scraped, heated, and tested. You are in that phase. Every distraction, every delay, every challenge is grinding away what won't survive the next level. The world doesn't wait because it doesn't need to. It knows some people will rise anyway. The question is whether you'll be one of them or someone who explains forever why the timing wasn't right. This isn't about becoming heartless. It's about becoming decisive. It's about understanding that inner strength isn't built by waiting for calm waters. It's built by learning to move while things are loud, unfair, and unfinished. You're not late, but you are being timed, and the clock doesn't blink. Number 3, when your own truth starts pressing back. The truth didn't crush you. It waited to see if you'd carry it. You already know this weight. You've worn it in silence, the weakness you never admitted out loud, the fear that drained you without making a sound, the indecision that felt safe at first, then slowly turned into suffocation. None of this is new to you. You've been living inside it longer than anyone realizes. The difference now is simple and terrifying. You can't ignore it anymore. This is the moment where the reflection doesn't ask nicely. It asks one brutal question. Do you have the guts to face what you already know? Not to fix it, not to explain it, just to face it. Most people fail right here. They look for distractions, motivation, validation, anything to escape the pressure, because the truth doesn't shout. It presses, slow, heavy, relentless. Fear isn't loud, it's patient. Staying is the hardest part. Looking is easy. Anyone can glance at their flaws and pretend they'll deal with them later. Staying present while the weight tightens your chest is different. That's when buried fears crawl back up. The ones you told yourself were over. The ones you buried under routines and excuses. This is where the chosen ones separate themselves, not by strength on display, but by endurance in private. Imagine this. You're holding a heavy door shut while everything behind it pushes to get out. Memories, regrets, missed chances. The longer you hold it, the more it burns. Let go, and everything floods out. Hold on, and you either grow stronger or collapse. There's no neutral option. You might be thinking, why does this feel worse now than before? Because avoidance delays pain, it doesn't erase it. The universe doesn't punish lies immediately, it lets them age, and old lies weigh more than fresh ones. The weight you feel isn't here to break you, it's here to reveal you. This pressure isn't random, it's a test of honesty. Can you sit with discomfort without running? Can you admit the truth without decorating it? Can you accept responsibility without turning it into shame? The enemy hopes you'll crack. They've always relied on that. But pressure doesn't destroy those who stay conscious inside it. It forges them. You're not weak for feeling this. You're dangerous for surviving it. Number 4. When the war moves inside and there's nowhere left to hide. The storm didn't come to destroy you. It came to expose what you keep avoiding. You feel it building, not outside, inside. Every fear you postponed, every excuse you polished to sound reasonable, every whisper of doubt you pretended not to hear. They don't disappear. They gather, slowly, quietly, like pressure behind a wall. And now the wall is cracking. This storm isn't dramatic. It doesn't scream. It hums. It vibrates through your chest when everything is quiet. The shaking you feel isn't weakness. It's resistance meeting truth. And resistance always shakes before it breaks. That discomfort you keep trying to shake off, that's your system waking up after being numb for too long. Chaos outside is noise. Chaos inside is the test. The world will never stop throwing confusion at you, that's guaranteed. Distractions, pressure, opinions, deadlines, comparisons, none of that is personal. What is personal is how loud your own mind gets when everything goes quiet. That's where the real battle happens. No audience, no applause, just you and the thoughts you've been outrunning. Imagine this, you're in a sealed room while a storm rages outside. The noise fades. What's left is the sound of your own breathing, your own doubts, your own decisions echoing back at you. That's the moment most people panic. They'd rather face chaos outside than silence inside. You might be thinking, why does it feel like I'm fighting myself? Because you are. One version of you wants comfort, the other wants evolution. Comfort negotiates, evolution demands. Every time you hesitate, you tighten the chain. Every time you act, it loosens. Hesitation feels harmless. It's not. It reinforces patterns. It teaches fear that it's in charge, and fear learns fast. But so does courage when you finally stop arguing with it. Here's the part the enemy hates. You're still here, not distracted enough to forget, not broken enough to quit, still standing in the storm instead of running from it. That doesn't mean you're calm. It means you're sharpening. Storms don't make survivors. Staying conscious inside them does. This isn't about controlling the chaos. It's about mastering yourself while it passes, and it always passes. Number 5, when the spark you buried starts burning back. They thought the fire went out. It was just learning how to burn without permission. That faint glow you feel isn't imagination. It never disappeared. It just learned how to survive under pressure, buried under hesitation, smothered by doubt, covered by layers of delay you convinced yourself were patience. But pressure does one thing extremely well. It reveals heat. And now the ember you ignored is waking up. The burden you've been carrying wasn't punishment, it was calibration. The universe wasn't trying to break you, it was adjusting your tolerance, teaching you how to hold weight without collapsing. Most people mistake that weight for failure and drop it early. You didn't, you dragged it with you, and that matters. Fire doesn't ask if you're ready, it burns when conditions are met. You might be wondering why clarity is showing up now instead of earlier. Because clarity without endurance creates arrogance. Endurance first creates restraint. That's why this feels controlled, not explosive. You're not becoming loud, you're becoming precise. Imagine this, a blade left untouched stays dull, pressure sharpens it, heat hardens it. The process is violent, but the result is dangerous in the right hands. That's what's happening inside you. The shaping isn't pretty, but it's permanent. You still feel the urge to flinch. That doesn't mean you're weak. It means the old survival habits haven't fully died yet. They had a job once. Keep you safe, keep you small, keep you unnoticed. But those habits don't serve what you're becoming. Flinching kept you alive. Stepping forward will make you effective. Now comes the decision point. Step closer to the weight or step back into familiarity. One grows you. The other keeps you comfortable and resentful. The enemy hopes you hesitate here. They always do, because once you stop flinching, they lose their favorite advantage. Imagine this. An ember doesn't announce itself. It just waits until the wind shifts. And when it does, everything changes direction. You're not meant to burn the world. You're meant to stop being bendable. Number 6, when your anger stops screaming and starts aiming. They were never afraid of your rage. They were afraid of what you'd do once it made sense. Fury isn't chaos. That's the lie they sold you, so you'd keep suppressing it. Fury is clarity sharpened by suffering. It's intelligence with teeth. It's the anger you buried under politeness, the tension you swallowed to keep rooms comfortable, the fire you told yourself was immature because other people couldn't handle it. You didn't lose that fury. You disciplined it without realizing it. This isn't the kind of anger that lashes out. This is the kind that looks straight through excuses and asks uncomfortable questions. Why did you tolerate that? Why did you stay silent there? Why did you keep explaining yourself to people committed to misunderstanding you? Fury doesn't want revenge. It wants alignment. Anger becomes dangerous the moment it stops asking for permission. You felt it rising at strange moments, not when things go wrong, but when things almost go right. That's when fury taps you on the shoulder and says, "You know this isn't enough." That's why it scares you. Not because it's violent, but because it's honest. And honesty threatens the structures you built to survive. Imagine this, a locked room filling slowly with heat. Panic comes first, then discomfort, then clarity. Fury is that heat. Ignore it and it suffocates you. Acknowledge it and suddenly you know exactly which door needs to be broken. You might be thinking, what if this anger consumes me? It won't. Not if you stop running from it. Suppressed fury explodes. Directed fury sharpens. Politeness kept you tolerated. Fury will make you undeniable. The enemy benefits when you confuse fury with loss of control. They want you numb or reckless, anything but focused, because focused fury doesn't shout. It moves, it cuts distractions, it ends patterns, it refuses negotiations with fear. Imagine this. A wildfire destroys randomly. A controlled burn clears space for growth. Same flame, different intent. That's the difference you're learning now. Fury isn't asking you to burn the world. It's asking you to stop betraying yourself, and it will wait patiently until you're brave enough to act. Number 7, when fire stops burning randomly and starts taking orders. Uncontrolled fire scares people. Controlled fire ends arguments. The world was never your enemy. That's the lie that kept you distracted. The real damage came from the deals you made with fear when nobody was watching. Every time you chose comfort over truth. Every time you delayed a decision you already knew the answer to. Every time you let fear have the final vote because it sounded reasonable. That's what fed the fury growing inside you. Now it's awake. And here's the dangerous part. Fury without control destroys everything, including you. But fury with direction, that's not emotion anymore. That's power with a spine. That's strategy. Anger gave you energy. Control gives it aim. You can feel the difference now. You're not reacting to everything. You're observing. You're choosing when to move. The fire isn't flaring up at random anymore. It's waiting. That patience isn't weakness, it's mastery. This is where most people fail. They either suppress the fire and rot, or unleash it and regret it. You're learning the third option. Command it. Imagine this: a wildfire burns whatever it touches, friend or enemy. But a furnace is built to contain heat and turn it into force. Same fire, completely different outcome. That's what's happening inside you. You might be asking, why do I feel calmer but more dangerous at the same time? Because chaos has been replaced with clarity. You're no longer emotional, you're intentional. Once fire is controlled, excuses don't survive long. Every failure you went through sharpened you. Every challenge toughened your backbone. Every moment you thought broke you actually trained your restraint. You didn't waste those experiences, you absorbed them. That's why your presence feels heavier now. That's why words hit differently when you speak less. Imagine this: steel doesn't become lethal by being loud. It becomes lethal by being tempered, folded, and tested. You are no longer raw metal. You've been forged. This isn't about proving anything to anyone. This is about reclaiming moments you gave away too easily. This is about moving with purpose instead of impulse. Fire with discipline doesn't ask for space. It takes it. You're not emotional anymore. You're strategic. And that's when the world starts adjusting to you. Number 8. The road that clears out everyone who can't follow. They stopped walking when it got quiet. You kept going. That's the difference. Transcendence is lonely by design. If it weren't, everyone would reach it. There are no hands pulling you forward here, no applause, no reassurance that you're doing the right thing, just long stretches of silence, where the only thing keeping you moving is your own discipline. This is where most people turn back, not because they're incapable, but because they confuse loneliness with failure. You feel it now, the empty space around you, fewer messages, fewer voices cheering you on. That's not abandonment, that's filtration. The path narrows because it's removing anyone who needed you to stay the same. The echo you hear isn't emptiness, it's clarity bouncing back at you. If everyone understands your journey, you're not going far enough. This road demands brutal honesty, not motivational honesty, not "I'll try harder" honesty, real honesty. The kind that admits where you lied to yourself to stay comfortable, the kind that forces you to stop negotiating with fear like it deserves compassion. Fear already had its chance. It kept you safe. It also kept you small. Imagine this: you're climbing higher and the air gets thinner. People who depended on the same oxygen can't breathe anymore. They don't hate you, they just can't survive where you're going. You might be asking, why does this feel heavier than before? Because survival is lighter than mastery. Survival lets you blend in. Mastery isolates you. It demands standards, boundaries, and self-respect that most people find exhausting. Comfort loves company. Growth demands solitude. Retreating into someone else's version of safety won't save you now. Borrowed comfort always comes with borrowed limits, and you've outgrown those limits. Imagine this: a lone path through fog. Every step forward clears just enough space to see the next one. You don't get the full map. You get progress only if you move. Mastery doesn't shout for witnesses, it waits for results. This isn't loneliness, it's separation, and separation is the price of becoming untouchable. Number 9, where loneliness stops hurting and starts hardening you. This is where weak versions of you melt off. Every step forward feels heavier now, and that's not an accident. The path is pushing back on purpose. Every decision demands effort. Every choice exposes something unfinished inside you. The obstacles aren't random. They mirror your internal chaos, forcing you to confront what still shakes you. This is the furnace stage. No distractions left, no noise to hide behind. Loneliness used to scare you because you thought it meant abandonment. You were wrong. Loneliness is pressure without witnesses. It removes performance. It strips excuses. It leaves only one question echoing in the dark. Can you still move when no one is watching? Pressure doesn't ask who you want to be. It reveals who you are. Imagine this. Raw metal thrown into fire doesn't become weaker. It sheds impurities. The heat exposes flaws, burns away softness, and hardens what remains. That's what solitude is doing to you. Every uncomfortable silence is refining your edge. Every quiet night is training your self-command. You might wonder why this phase feels relentless, why rest feels shallow, why comfort feels foreign. Because discipline is forming now, not motivation. Discipline doesn't cheer, it repeats. And repetition under pressure builds something terrifyingly stable. No applause means no lies. The world doesn't see this part, and that's the point. Strength built in public is fragile. Strength built in solitude doesn't ask permission to exist. You're learning how to stand without leaning, how to decide without approval, how to endure without reassurance. Imagine this. A blade cooled slowly after intense heat becomes unbreakable. Rush it and it shatters. You're being cooled deliberately, slowly, painfully, permanently. Solitude isn't empty, it's selective. Freedom is emerging here, not freedom to escape, but freedom from needing validation. When this furnace finishes its work, you won't react. You'll respond. You won't seek. You'll choose. No eyes, no applause, just will. And will, when forged like this, doesn't shake. Number 10. The edge where excuses die and decisions become final. This isn't the end of the road. It's the point where turning back finally costs more than going forward. Reaching this point doesn't mean you've won. It means you've arrived at the edge where everything you avoided is waiting. No noise, no chaos, just a cold, quiet abyss staring back at you without blinking. This is the final edge, not because it's dramatic, but because it's honest. Nothing else can distract you now. The abyss doesn't threaten. It mocks. It doesn't rush you. It waits. That's what makes it dangerous. There's no one stepping in, no rescue, no reassurance, and that loneliness, that's not punishment, that's clarity. When no one's left to blame, truth gets loud. Every step you took led here. Every delay, every compromise, every moment you chose comfort over courage. This is where the question finally lands, clean and sharp. Will you bend or will you rise? Not in theory, not someday, now. Imagine this, standing at the edge of a frozen lake. You know the ice will crack if you hesitate too long. The only way across is decisive movement. Pause and you freeze. Move and you learn your strength. You might be thinking, why does this feel heavier than everything before? Because this is where illusions die. There's no one left to impress, no one left to fight, just you and the habits you've been carrying. The enemy was never the world. It was the version of you that kept negotiating. Weakness was never external. It lived in hesitation, in avoidance, in the deals you made with fear when nobody was watching. And now those deals are up for collection. Imagine this, a blade tested at the final grindstone, too soft and it bends, properly forged, and it holds its edge forever. Rising doesn't feel heroic, it feels irreversible. This is the edge where you stop asking who you could become and decide who you are. Once you step forward, there's no pretending you didn't know. And that's the point. Number 11. When you stop fearing the abyss and start owning it. The abyss didn't move. You did, and that's why it lost. This is the rise, not the loud kind, not the cinematic kind, the real one. The kind that happens when nothing outside you changes, but everything inside you locks into place. The abyss was never meant to break you. That was the misunderstanding. It was a test of pressure, not destruction. It existed to strip you down until only what was real survived. Fury didn't arrive to make you reckless. Endurance didn't form to make you suffer. Clarity didn't sharpen to confuse you. Solitude didn't isolate you to punish you. Every one of them was part of the forge, layer by layer, heat by heat, moment by moment. You weren't being attacked. You were being shaped. What survives the forge doesn't ask for permission anymore. Here's the truth that settles everything. The abyss doesn't change. It stays cold. It stays indifferent. It stays unmoved, waiting for people to flinch, to fold, to retreat into old habits. That's why so many disappear there. But you didn't disappear. You adapted. You learned how to stand without reassurance, how to move without applause, how to exist without needing approval. Imagine this, a pressure chamber built to crush anything fragile. What walks out isn't louder. It's denser, heavier, impossible to ignore. You might wonder, why do I feel calm instead of victorious? Because victory is emotional. Mastery is quiet. You don't need to announce who you've become. Your presence does it for you. Power isn't proven by force. It's proven by resistance to influence. You are no longer bendable, no longer reactive, no longer dependent on circumstances being kind. The abyss can't scare you because it already showed you its worst, and you stayed. This is the rise, not into noise, into control, into permanence, untouchable, undeniable. Number 12. What's left after the fire realizes it can't take you. You didn't escape the process. You survived it. That's why this feels different. You made it here because you didn't flinch when things got uncomfortable. You stayed when silence got loud. You didn't look away when the truth pressed in. That already puts you in a smaller circle than you realize. Most people consume words. Very few let words confront them. You did. Take a breath, not because this is over, but because this is the moment everything settles. The chaos didn't destroy you. The fire didn't consume you. The truth didn't collapse you. It reorganized you. What you're feeling right now isn't hype or relief. It's weight. The weight of awareness. The weight of responsibility. The weight of knowing you can't unsee what you've seen. Awakening doesn't feel bright, it feels heavy. This wasn't content. This was a mirror held steady long enough for you to recognize yourself without excuses. A challenge that didn't shout but demanded honesty. A call to rise that didn't beg you to believe, only to act. And now the real work begins, quietly, when no one is watching. You might be wondering, what do I do next? You apply it. You move differently. You choose differently. You stop negotiating with habits that already showed you where they lead. You don't announce your change. You let it show up in your discipline, your boundaries, your silence. Imagine this. After a storm passes, the landscape looks the same at first glance, but weakened structures don't stand long after. Only what was solid remains. That's you now. The world doesn't need to hear you've changed. It will feel it. This is the aftermath, not rest, not victory laps. Alignment. You don't yield now, you don't explain now, you live it. And that weight you carry, that's what makes people step aside without knowing why. You're awake, don't waste it. Number 13. This is where your name stops being a whisper. Legends aren't born loud, they're forged where most people quit quietly. This isn't the end. This is the point where your story finally stops borrowing language from fear. The path ahead is still lonely, still intense, still relentless. That part doesn't change. What changed is you. You didn't just look into the abyss anymore. You stood there long enough to understand it, and then you smiled. Not because it was easy, but because it no longer had leverage over you. Carry this moment with you, not as pride, as posture, as a reminder of what you can endure without collapsing. Most people never find out how strong they actually are because they retreat the moment pressure feels personal. You didn't. You stayed. And staying rewires something deep. It replaces panic with calm, reaction with control. Strength isn't loud, it echoes. You don't need to announce what you've become. The world doesn't respond to declarations. It responds to presence, to the weight of someone who doesn't rush, doesn't explain, doesn't bend just to be liked. Let your discipline speak. Let your consistency make noise. Let your silence unsettle rooms that once ignored you. Imagine this. A mountain doesn't chase storms away. Storms break themselves against it. That's the kind of strength you're building now. Stable, unmoved, patient. You might ask, what if the road stays hard? It will. That's how you know you're still growing. Easy paths don't produce legends. Repetition under pressure does. Endurance turns effort into identity. This isn't a fantasy. It's a responsibility to live aligned, to act with intention, to refuse the old habits that once negotiated your worth away. This tribute isn't praise, it's recognition. You earned this step. Stand tall, not for attention, for alignment. This is the beginning. And beginnings like this don't fade. And now, pause right here. If you felt even a fraction of what was said, that means something inside you shifted. This wasn't entertainment. This was a line crossed. From awareness to action, from surviving to becoming. Don't rush past that if you're still standing mentally. Prove it like this. Subscribe so this message keeps finding the ones who can handle it. Drop 77 in the comments as a mark that you stayed to the end and understood the weight of it. And share this with